Hey everybody, I'm Joey Evans, and today we're going to talk about the top 10 most thematic games of 2024. Okay, so today's top 10 is top 10 most thematic games of the year. Now, these aren't my favorite games, but these are games that I appreciate the fact that they are so thematic on what they try to encapsulate with their game. So we're going to take a look at these, and this is really, I'm looking at this whole list, and it is a wide swath of themes on it. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, so first off, theme. When I think of theme, I always like monsters, things like that, dungeon crawl, but this is not a dungeon crawler. This is a boss battler, and this is Primal The Awakening. Primal The Awakening, it grabs the theme of a boss battler because it also has kind of has a Thanos Rising move where you start moving quadrants. You're trying to avoid this monstrous monster in the middle, and it's got fantastic minis in this. The minis look incredible, and there's so much depth. The whole thing with this too is it can be a campaign or it can be a one-off. So you can play through the campaign or you can actually just jump in and battle a monster. And also the quadrants in this, which differentiates it, several things. One thing, in the quadrants, there are different things that can give you cover. So you can kind of jump into different areas and hide. The monster's going to turn around and face you. I played Witcher Old World and I love the theme in that, the story. But this doesn't have as much story, but is more of just a beat 'em up. There are so many things to enjoy about this game. The monster attacks in different ways. It also upgrades itself. So even in that one boss battle, it is constantly evolving and moving forward and gives different reasons to battle and to fight. So this is really good. It's got a lot of depth. This is Primal The Awakening. I do wish there was a more manageable box size, so I would love to see an acrylic standee version of this because the game itself is incredible. Okay, so number 9 on the list is a game that captures the theme of its source material, which is a video game, and this is Dead Cells. Dead Cells is the video game is a roguelike video game, which means it's not based on the game you're going to play, it's based on runs. You're going to run as far as you can, you're going to die, then you're going to level up, and you're going to run again. Hopefully you run further. Dead Cells really captures that. You really have that based on runs, the way you play your cards, the way you level up your character, and the different biomes you can go to, and later you can unlock more biomes so you can run further and you can be better equipped. Several things I like about this game. Number one, the combats in it are very quick. And in a game like a roguelike style game, it needs to be quick because the video game is so quick. This is very quick. You're going to flip your cards over, you're going to see what rounds everything attacks, the range and everything, and you're going to figure it out from there. That, I think, I really enjoy that combat system because it's also very unique. And speaking of unique, the save system on this is very unique. Everything, the artwork, everything stands out. So if you do love the game, then you know what? Try this out because this really does feel like a roguelike game. You run, you level up, you buy some pretty cool stuff, and this is Dead Cells. All right, now number 8 pulls you in with a very cute theme and adorable artwork and very strategic gameplay. This is Flock Together. Flock Together is by Cow Games, and it's got Andrew Bosley artwork, and the whole thing is that you are chickens, and you try to level up as you protect your coop, and you're going to eventually fight a final boss. And it's got great names on there like Huckleberry Finn, Annie Oakley. Anyway, it's a fantastic co-op. This one you work together and you're kind of going to forage, you're going to try to level up fighting different smaller minions before you get to the big bad. And the leveling up happens with this book, and as you flip through the book, you're going to see your chicken grow into a larger, more battle-worn chicken. So there's a lot to love about this game. It's one of our go-to co-ops because it's very simple, very straightforward on the actions you can take, and it's also very strategic because if you go the wrong direction, you're going to lose. And your chicken is going to end up in Kentucky and fried. And delicious. Anyway, this is Flock Together. Okay, there are not a lot of themes out there like the theme to rule them all, and that is Lord of the Rings. Lots of Lord of the Rings games out there, but I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to say Lord of the Rings Duel. I like this because, first off, it's a duel game, obviously, 1 versus 1. And different winning conditions. You can take over all the regions with area control. Very thematic, right? It is thematic. Or you can get all the different races to join your side. You've won. Everyone loves you. Or This is the best part. You're playing as Frodo and Sam, or you're playing as the Ring Wraiths or whatever, and they're chasing Frodo and Sam. So the whole thing is this: Frodo and Sam have to deliver that ring to Mount Doom before the Ring Wraiths catch up with them. And the little acrylic thing as you move across, I'm sorry, that's one of my favorite parts about this game, because it's almost like a timer. So you see how close that player, Frodo and Sam, are getting to Mount Doom. You also see how far behind them you are. So as you're playing everything else going on, all these other winning conditions, you keep checking and you see that clock keep going. Are they getting too close? Are they getting too close to me? All of that really comes together and culminates in what I think is a great thematic game, and it's a 2 players too. It is Lord of the Rings Duel. Okay, so next, number 6 is another roguelike game. What? It's like a renaissance. Oh, this is Slay the Spire. So Slay the Spire is based on an app, and this is crazy because I played the board game before I played the app. And I like the app, it's fine, but I think I gravitated to the board game more, which is a rarity with video games, for me, at least. So the whole thing is this: the theme on this one really, really matches the game. I love the upgrading mechanic on this. I love that the deck building is just so spot on with this, and it's truly, truly cooperative. And that's what feels good. It's got great artwork. It looks great on the table. It also plays very fast, which again, a game based on an app really should. I'm not going to go too much in detail on this because our review is here on the channel for Slay the Spire, but that is our number 6, Slay the Spire. Okay, so next, this one feels like I'm in a sci-fi, not a sci-fi movie, but a sci-fi series. I mean, it is Spark Riders 3000. You are manning a spaceship, and you are running around frantically trying to man the guns as different ships come up alongside. You're trying to hit them. They're further back. They're up. You're moving around. You're trying to fix things as it goes down. It really gives you a Star Trek style feel. But then also, all of this happens as there's another story that happens, like little cutscenes that come through on the app. It's app-based, which is another good thing because they can always upgrade the app with more cutscenes and more different things that happen. That's what I love about this game. It's almost like a game in a game. So you're going to be playing everything. You're going to be trying to win these battles, but then cutscenes happen and you're going to have to make decisions based on those. That really gives me the feel of one of those, I guess not modern, but quintessential sci-fi shows. So that's why I really enjoy this. And again, the minis are great and the whole artwork is fantastic, but this is Spark Riders 3000, and this was a surprise for me. And there is a review of this on the channel as well. Okay, this next one is a travel game. It's not a travel game meaning you take it with you and you travel. It is a travel game because it's based on travel. And this is Let's Go to Japan. Let's Go to Japan is one that I was a little bit late to the party to play because I saw people playing it. And they decided to kind of pull me in. But it is one of those that as you play, first off, the game is great. I think the artwork is great. The upgraded components that you can get are fantastic as well. But the cards themselves, it's a lot of fun. It makes you look at it and think, wow, I would like to visit Japan. If I went to Japan, I would do this. Or if you're sitting with certain people that have been there, they're always like, I've done this. And you get to talk about how great of a time they had and you've never been. I'm not salty. But anyway, this is a really, really entertaining game. The gameplay is great. It's more on the light side of things, but it's got this card draw mitigation, and it's just a solid drafting game that I really, really enjoy. And for us who have not been to Japan, it's kind of like we get to visit there. Not salty. Not salty. I want to go, though. All right, so this next game is all about the entertaining business. Not what I do, but it's more about being a rock star. This is Rock Hard 1977. So, as people know, this game was designed by Jackie Fox of the rock band The Runaways. And it's all about being an up-and-coming musician and making it big. What's interesting about this is when I did like entertaining and stuff, it's funny, you start with comedy clubs, you start going bigger and bigger venues. But this is great because it grabs that feeling, because again, you start to smaller venues, but then you also have to take that free time to write songs, also produce songs. You have to increase production. You've got to do all these different things. And then eventually you quit your job as you do the bigger venues and you hope you can continue to climb and climb, but there are only so many hours in the day. So you can take candy to go quicker, and let's not think too much into that. But this does give you that feeling of being a rock star and starting at the bottom and getting, hopefully, to the top. and that is Rock Hard 1977. Okay, this is another two-player game, and doesn't have duel on the end of it though. And this was honestly a surprise for me. I'm surprised how much I liked it. Components are great, it looks good, but this is Kelp, Shark versus Octopus. This one, the whole thing is a cat and mouse game with an octopus and a shark. You know what? I don't need to say any more. That should sell you on it if you have a pulse. It's fantastic. So the whole thing is Octopus is trying to find food, and the shark is constantly on patrol looking for the octopus. And then the fact that when they actually have that big encounter, at first the octopus has the advantage. He can get away. But then later, it's going to be easier and easier to catch him. So it really feels great. And the way the minis are shaped, it just looks like that shark is on patrol. It really feels like you're watching the History Channel on this. It's one of those very unique games that is really strategic. And at first, you know, the shark is just lashing out and biting out in hunger and anger, and he's just going at it. And the octopus is trying to be very strategic in what he does. It's hidden movement. It's bag building. There's massive asymmetry on each side. But this is one I think has been overlooked too, but it's got so much theme. And this is Kelp, Shark versus Octopus. Okay, my number one, I feel bad because the majority of these games have been reviewed on the channel. This one has not, as far as time of recording this, been reviewed yet, but hopefully by the time this goes up, it has been. This is Freedom 5. Freedom 5 is fantastic. Hopefully the review's up, so I'm not spoiling anything, but it is great. Freedom 5 almost feels like, I was a fan of Sentinels of the Multiverse. It almost, for me, felt like someone that's read Marvel comics their whole life and the first Marvel movie comes out. So this one, I played Sentinels of the Multiverse a lot. I used to play it more than I do now. But this is actually, you take them and you put them in an actual board game where they can move around. It just feels great. All of these different characters like Legacy, the way he's more like a Superman-style character, has those abilities and stuff, gets the extra die. You've got Tachyon that can run across and do different things as he moves so much faster. You've got Bunker, who's kind of building that Iron Man type suit, the entire time. This just feels so good. It's so strategic. But the big thing about this is the rules don't weigh it down. That was my biggest fear going into this. I thought, I'm going to like this game a lot, but that rule set, is it going to be one of those that's going to hinder me or help me? This rule set is fairly simple, but the strategy and when to move, when everyone else moves, and getting that story together really, really brings this game alive. And again, there's different versions of it. There's one with the minis and one with the standees. So whatever you want, they both play the same, and they're both fantastic. Even if you don't know the Sentinels of the Multiverse universe, it's a weird thing to say, but I think you would like this as a superhero game because it takes some of my favorite parts of like Marvel Champions and honestly Pandemic. It's my favorite parts of those games, my favorite games, and adds this to something that is just incredible. So this is my number one most thematic game, Freedom 5. Whew, okay, that was it. Those are my top 10 most thematic games of 2024. If you've got some, add in the comments below. I'd like to hear them. I'm Joey Evans, and I'll see you later on the channel.
Hey folks, thanks for joining us for that video. If you haven't yet, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hey, make sure you check out what's happening where I'll cover an app on an iOS or a Switch device, and you can check it out along with me. Thanks very much. You've been watching The Dice Tower.